Sure, gents. I hope you're all well. Another life update. Been posting on Instagram, Twitter. No followers yet, but been posting. Realized that it's follow count does matter at some point, so that people can, when people visit your profile, they can see that okay, he has decent amount of followers. Some people follow him because of a certain reason. That can help. But it's not about optimizing for followers rather than for having true fans. So we've been posting on TikTok, TikTok, on Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and on Instagram. But YouTube, I'm only doing it for updates and insights. So I've been posting, averaging 100 views per reel. It's nice. I used to go to a primary school where there was only 99 kids in the school, so I'm speaking to that whole school. I'm directing the traffic to. At first, I wanted to do it. I wanted it to go to my newsletter, but I want to do it in a strategic way of me getting them to answer questions, so I can do market research for what I want to offer them, and also know what they want, what they like, and see where they are, and create content based off of that, and keep on doing that for a very long time. I want to do talking head videos. No buts. I should make talking head videos, get used to them. Even if it's one a day, starting from there, one a day, speaking about certain thing, even if it's the same thing, it doesn't matter. Get used to it and everything. So I've been posting, and there's this thing where I want things like fast, right? Then I just realized, oh, like my guy, you only started posting like last month. Like you can't expect things to pop now, yet you posted last month. And plus, I'm not doing any outbound. I'm not like cold calling, cold messaging, cold emailing. No, I'm just posting and everything. Maybe if I did cold outbound, it would work, but maybe. There's that. And then, yeah. One thing I also realized is I might do this content thing. I repurpose. Oh yeah, I also post on my newsletter and stuff. I might repurpose my content, post it on certain things and stuff, And I was thinking of offering that to people as an agency thing to help them repurpose their content the same way I'm doing on Twitter and everything, and gaining reach and views and stuff like that. Posting on Twitter like multiple times a day, Instagram multiple times a day, LinkedIn once a day, and then on newsletter once a week, written stuff. On Instagram, it's mostly B-roll, but I want to do talking head, get used to doing talking head. Yeah, and that's the content thing. And then the other thing is, I was watching this guy talking about communication, how communication is important. Now, communication is important because in the world we live in, something I've stated, if not in these life updates, I'll state it again. In life, we live amongst human beings. You're a human being, I'm a human being, and every human being has a brain. And that brain is the one component, one organ that almost controls everything regarding the movements, functions, emotions, feelings of the body. Without a brain, you can't walk, talk, smell. In fact, people who are brain dead end up defecating on themselves. It's like the body lives on its own without any nerves in a way, right? Somebody's brain dead you can easily cut off somebody's brain dead, cut off their fingers, they won't feel any pain. Cut off their hands, they won't feel any pain. They are alive, but the pain won't be there because maybe the pain is there, but they can't show that they're feeling pain because they can't even move their eyes. You have to wipe their mouth and stuff. So as a human, everybody has a brain. So if everybody has a brain, and the brain is the part or the component or the organ that handles all decisions made by all men, and you wanna make money, what is a new wumpinji, jeka, like me, you realize that the money you want is in somebody's pocket, and for them to decide, for them to get to the decision where they want to give you that money, they give you that money in exchange for something else, whether it's in exchange for their life, which is something you shouldn't do, exchange for information, exchange for not being exposed, exchange for certain things, right? Value, it's value exchange. I want this money, I'll do this for you. Now we don't blackmail, we don't manipulate. We do not manipulate, or do we steal from people. We don't take it from people forcefully, and we don't make people give us their money in a convincing way, like manipulators, blackmailers. We don't do that. We are children of God. We are God's people, and we operate in righteousness. The only way we can get access to that money is to persuade, is to move people to a desired outcome they want, a certain transformation. Now, that transformation or desired outcome can be, I searched this on Meta AI, talking about Sigmund Freud, that humans tend to move away from pain or towards pleasure. He said it was something Western. I was like, okay, even though it still works. It's still like a basis for most things. Not all things, but most things, right? It was telling me about different life experiences and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, based off this Western world that we live in, it's mostly like that. People tend to move away from pain and towards pleasure. So what transformation are you giving those people? Transformation is you taking them, is you taking people from a certain place, point A, to a certain destination, point B. In the middle, there's obstacles. That's the reason why they haven't made it to point B, because they don't have a roadmap. They don't know what they will encounter and everything like that. So you, as the person, you listen to them. I want to do this, get to this place and whatever. Then you find a solution for them. You tell them, here's the solution, help you with this. If they have objections, mostly they have objections because of the obstacles in between everything, right? The objections relate or connect to the obstacles in between the route of them going to a certain place until the destination, which is point B. So you give them a solution. So the money you want is in someone else's pocket. You have to persuade them in order for them to give it to you. Persuading them is you giving them value in exchange for the value you want. You want the money, they want the transformation. You give them the transformation. But you cannot do that without knowing how to communicate. So you need to know how to communicate with people. The money you want is in their pocket. The only way they're going to give it to you is if you persuade them. Now, with persuasion, you need to know how to communicate with people, how to say certain things the way they want you to say it. Right? It's like hitting on a girl. But most of the time when you hit on a girl, you're doing it for your own benefit. So most of the time you're convincing her rather than persuading her, right? Unless there's some persuasion to it. If she says, oh, I'm single, and you're like, oh, you see, I know you want a relationship. What kind of guy do you want? I want this guy that does this and whatever. Oh, don't worry, this, that, I'm that guy, and whatever, stuff like that. Right? Some convincing, some persuading, depending on which angle it comes from. Right? So if you learn how to communicate, life becomes easier for you. It's people who do not communicate who end up at the bottom. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. No, boss. Okay, boss. Thank you, boss. Why, boss? This, boss. They only know those things. Hi. You speak to them, it's hi. Hi. How are you? I'm great, and you? I'm great. That's it. No flavor, nothing. It's like robots. Then you end up protesting, doing outrageous stuff. So this guy is speaking about communication, being able to communicate, because communication is your access into rooms that not a lot of people go in. You talking to that one guy, you don't know whether he's a multi-millionaire, and you meet him at a park or at a store in your local area or a certain place. Maybe re tlhakana le bone, a re tlhakana le bone, ya dependa. Ya dependa go tlhakana le mang, but you meet, you go there, you don't become like those what do you call those people? NSFAS or SASA or SARS or government people who talk to people in a certain way. I understand you deal with a lot of people, and some people can be annoying, but you're closing doors for yourself. But you know what? To each his own. I want to elevate. So you talk to people in a certain way. You don't come with negative energy. Right? Because these people who are high-end, multi-millionaires, billionaires, Patrice Motsepe, Vusi Thembekwayo, Johann Rupert, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these people, they don't want to be around people who are just generic. Yes, boss. No, boss. This, right? They want people who are thinkers. They want thinkers around them, but workers working for generic people working for them, right? Generic people are the people who work for them. Thinkers are those who are the people who they hang around with, hear their thoughts, debate with, right? Make them think about certain things, right? So you must know how to communicate, know how to be interesting, right? Know some general knowledge if you can. If you don't know any general knowledge, tap into the topics that you know about, or some people say you must specialize. Specializing is good. I'm not against specializing. But don't just be a specialist. Be a specialist and a generalist at the same time. It can help you a lot, right? Maybe you're talking to somebody and they're talking about boats, and you can easily talk about something about boats, right? Or they're speaking about birds or nature or global warming or geography or all of these stuff, right? They talk about animals or fighting and stuff. At least you have some knowledge to enter the conversation, right? Somebody's telling you about, yo, man, where you ask them where you from. It's like, yeah, I came from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can act like the person who doesn't know, right? It's also fine, right? Don't be a smart ass if you don't know anything, right? If you don't know, like, hey man, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what's that? Oh, it's martial arts that. Oh, it's a different martial arts like Kung Fu. Like, no, it's this, that, this, that, this, that. Oh, how do you do it? This, that. You ask questions, you let them talk. It's fine, right? That's the part where you listen. Part of communication, being a great communicator, is listening and asking questions. Because you want more information out of the guy. The more information you can get out of him, the more information that you can get out of him than he gets out of you. The more you know him, than he knows you, right? He may know your name. He may know your name and certain things that you share with him, right? He might, hey man, that Nell guy is a great guy, man. He doesn't know where you live, but you know where he lives, where he works, his positions, what he does, and everything, right? So you ask him the question. You make him talk about himself. And stuff like that. So if you become a great communicator, things open up for you. Like, it is undeniable. You become, if you're an interesting person, if you know how to communicate, there are also other skills out there that are necessary. Adapting, emotional intelligence, cultural awareness, resourcefulness, and all of those stuff. Right? They. I think it's 8 of them. 8 traits that people who survived and thrived throughout life, including George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Shaka Zulu, or all the greats, right? Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, all of them. They had these traits. Then it didn't talk about degrees or anything, right? Because if you think about it, if you're a person who was in Lebanon and your university was bombed into pieces, then what are you? You didn't even get your certificate. You're on your last year. In fact, you are about to graduate, and some guy sends a missile. You gotta do another year. Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna say, "Oh, my life is over with"? That's the thing, right? The degree was not part of that. Subjects were not part of that. Specializing was not part of it. It's the ability to adapt, to be resourceful, emotional intelligence, and all these stuff. If you can increase in those things, they can help you. So in communication, a lot of us have been taught. You know what I mean? Raise your hand if you want to speak. Create order. It's nice. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Don't think outside the box. You know how they make you solve a certain problem in a certain way, only in that way. If you don't solve it in that way, then you're wrong. You fail the class. I don't get how you fail the class. If you want to problem solve, I have a solution for you, even though it takes a week or a month or a year or a few seconds. It doesn't matter. I'm going to solve your problem, right? Imagine somebody's in trouble in a certain place and they need to be rescued, or maybe they're in a house and somebody's delivering something in a certain house. He walks into that house and then he finds out there's a dog there, and when he finds out there's a dog, he goes and he manages to climb the wall and go up on the roof of the house. Imagine he's like, "Hey, help me, help me." Then you're like, "Yeah, mfethu ngakusiza ungawari imalapha," and he's like, "Yeah, help me, but when you help me, can you please use this ladder and climb on the left and do this?" Then I'm like, then you don't want help, my guy. You're in trouble. You are in a certain problem, and you want me to solve it in a specific way. You don't want help. You don't want help. Is this school? Is this a test? You're joking, buddy. Even if it means you staying on that roof for a day and waiting for the police, that's a solution, buddy. That's a solution. You will help. So anyway, school doesn't make you think outside the box. Gives you information, but doesn't help you think outside the box. That's one thing. School makes you generic. School doesn't teach you communication. Well, you may communicate with your friends at school, but most of the time it's you complaining to your friends about the next subject that's coming, or talking about soccer or certain things, depending on who you are. If you're a C student, most of the time you're communicating. If you're an A student, most of the time you're isolated, and not communicating with a lot of people, which will hinder you at some point in life when you go to university. That's why most of the time bona machita ba etsang di A plus ba etsang ba thola di 90 a ba fitla ko varsity se ba na le di-threats ba tsuba ntsang. And then those C students are the ones that are doing the most, right? Because they fail and improve. They fail and improve. They fail and improve, right? Failure is the bread of success. Failure is the stepping stones of success. The A plus student doesn't fail. Doesn't want to fail. I'm not saying you should fail, but failure shouldn't be looked at as something wrong, but as something that is necessary. So when you haven't failed, it's ego, pride, and whatever, then you find yourself in university now smoking ganja, painting your nails in a certain way, wearing rings, maybe probably turning out gay. I don't know. It all happens like that most of the time. It may be an assumption, but it is what it is. When you're a C student, you know how it feels like to fail, how it feels like to be laughed at, how it feels like to be at the bottom and everything. And you're like, you know what? I don't care. I will fail, I'll improve, I'll be the best, and become the best. C students. They find a way out. I know this thing won't work for me, so I must find something that's going to work for me. That's being resilient, adapting, right? Not leaning on one thing. Understanding that certain things won't work for me, certain things might work for me. So going back to communication, school doesn't teach you how to communicate. It's always follow this rule, do this, keep quiet, don't do this, don't collaborate, don't do these things, do this, like a robot, right? You become generic. You are a flesh-like robot. Now you're gonna compete with AI now. Sad. It is what it is. So they don't teach you how to communicate. Now you go into the real world, you get to know that I must get money. How do I get money? One way to get money is sales. How to keep it is financial literacy, and how to multiply it is investing. You know neither, because you were taught neither of them in school or at your house. They don't teach you that. Most of the time they tell you need to get money, get a job. Financial literacy, save money, investing. They know nothing about investing. In fact, they have no solution for investing. They know nothing. Buy a house, pay the mortgage, or bond, batala bond, or something like that. Yeah, and then you live 4 years of your life, miserable, complaining all your life, talking about how Uncle Ramaphosa cheated you out of certain things. Guy, he doesn't owe you anything. And that's life, right? So get money sales, keep money, financial literacy, and then multiplying it is investing. But sales needs communication. Whether it's online sales is copywriting. It needs some form of communication, knowing how to communicate with people, tapping into their mind, that same mind that makes all the decisions. People buy because they feel like it, and people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Right? Somebody said this. Sigulabana is machitala lazy. Aleda maybe go molong. It depends on molong thing, or maybe go deep kloof, go Jabulani, go any township like mall. Fitara go molong machitala ki bala ba paisa F-Bob, life insurance and fithu. And now labo wabatoja machita makabahlezi ba hey ntwana bona mfithu life insurance, and you tell them mfithu me I don't even have my own house, but life insurance I don't even have money, buddy. Akunanyu batala life insurance. You pass them, and then you end up going into a store that you know, like, and trust. They didn't sell you on anything, you just know and like and trust them. You skip all these people who are selling you something because you don't know them, you don't like them, you don't trust them. And you go to a store that you know, like, and trust. So you need to become the person that somebody knows, likes, and trusts. And how do you become the person who people know, like, and trust? Not being a quiet ass, think inside the box, generic robot guy. No. You become thinking outside the box, thinker, communicator. Hi, how are you? Nice suit, man. Hey, where you from? Oh, I'm from Sandton. Oh, nice place. Where you from? Me? I'm just from Kizwago, LX. I'm from Alexander. Yeah, that's but what are you doing here? I work here. Oh, okay. What do you work for? What do you do when you work here? Oh, I do managing. I'm part of the marketing team. I mean, I've always been interested in marketing, as the effects of communicating with people and displaying your product in a certain way. Where did you learn that? Oh, I learned it in this. You see. That's how you build that know, like, and trust, my guy. Asking questions, listening, asking questions based on what they said, practicing that. That's how people know you. They'll be like, yeah, it's that guy who stopped me, and because think about it, not depending on men. Because most of the times girls get stopped a lot, especially if she's attractive. She'll be stopped a lot. Hey, how are you, baby girl? I want to take you out on a date. No, man. Sorry, excuse me. I'm taken, but she ain't taken. But when it comes to a guy, Most of the time, a guy is not stop. It's mostly hi. How are you? I'm great. Yes. But then if you come that guy like, hey man, hey, nice suit, bro. He's gonna cherish. I'll even say this. There was a time where I forgot Kinegileva. I think it was BTS. Yeah, it was BTS. Some other. Yeah, it was on to BTS. I was walking around, and this other teacher looked at me. Right? She looked at me, and then she said I had beautiful eyes. Man, yo, I pondered on that thing for the day. I was like, yo, she said I had beautiful eyes. I'm fine. She said I had beautiful eyes. I went to school. I tell the gents. I was in dormitory. Tell the gents. Maybe I didn't tell them. Maybe I did tell them. It depends. Yeah, man. I met this teacher. She said I had beautiful eyes, guys. Like a guy cherishes a compliment because most of the time you don't get compliment. Yeah, well, you don't get complimented a lot, especially by strangers. Maybe your mom will compliment you, but you won't take it serious because it's your mom. But if some girl says, "Hey," if some girl compliments you, you're gonna keep it. Oh, she said this, man. She said this. She may be playing, but you're gonna hold it, yeah, you know, and stuff like that, right? So you become that you become that no like and trust guy with your communication, being able to ask questions, listen, and communicate, sharing your points, and having those stuff. They don't teach you in school, but and it's something you have to practice. You have no other way, no other choice. If you wanna get this cash, if you wanna accumulate capital, if you're in the era of capital acquisition, then you need to know how to communicate, persuade, sales, copywriting, know how to talk to people in a certain way that they'll buy what you're offering. Especially if it becomes easier if what you're selling is what they want, right? Then you can just show them that your solution is the solution they need. So something that I need to break also, because coming from school, you're not taught something. Vin said, Vin GM or something. He said, a lot of your life you've been taught or you've been in a state of speaking to yourself. Speaking in your mind, thinking a lot. Like you talk to yourself, he did this, he did that, he did this, did that. If he does this, I'm gonna do this, do that, do this. You think of scenarios in your mind most of the time, but then you cannot use your mouth to say them. You can't use your mouth to say them. Or maybe I don't know if this thing has happened to you. You'll be listening to a song. Maybe it's a song you don't know. But for some reason, if you don't sing the song and you're listening to the song, it seems like you know the song. Like it's like you're singing along with the song, but once you start speaking, you can't tell it next. You don't know anything. So you haven't been trained on how to take what you think, bring it all together, package it into something, and say it in a certain way that people may understand it. You haven't been taught that. And you haven't been taught how to think nicely. Because most of the time when you're thinking, you're all over the place. And then before you could say something, the topic has already changed. Right? Topic has already changed. You can't say it now. It's all outdated. Or maybe sometimes you may speak, but then you speak a lot. You don't give people a chance to digest what you just said. It's a lot of things, man. School messes up, but we gotta fix ourselves up. By God's grace, God taught me all of these things, highlighted these things to me. Now you need to learn this. Now you need to learn that. Now this is how you do it. Now know this and that. This is where I bet mind and mouth connection. Know how to connect the two. Because you have ideas, you have certain things, you have solutions, but you don't know how to say it in a way that people may understand and say, you know what, this guy is speaking sense. I like what he's saying and whatever. Being seen as a leader. Because a lot of people don't talk. As I said, yes, boss, no boss. okay, boss, why boss, loss, cost, Jaws. I don't know, man, listen, any horse name they could think of, they'll say it. Or boss, you know. They don't know how to communicate. This has happened before. If you're a guy or a girl, I've never been a girl. If I'm cheetah, you know there's those, what's going on with cheetah and fit? Maybe go na le meniero, maybe go na le cheetah fellow o na o phapela wa. Then you there with your gents, machita wana fit ntangolo wang Kenya fan, wang Kenya fan. And try ayentseng fit ang kutswetsa. Aka utswetsa nna, then you pinch down ntse ya fela wa pheta mfiti ya wa pheta hayi ntwana wa Kenya ya mfiti tshwanetse ke msolve ntwanile tshwanetse ke msolve, right? Oh, let me not talk about ntwanile. Teacher ntwana unkayile marks wrong mfithu unkayile nthwitsina mfithu wa pheta mfithu wa bona lena ntwe right le gona go pile mfithu a tshwanetse re go yena. And then there's that thing where you go to that teacher. You go speak to him. Yeah, say. Yeah, say. Mom, say. That energy is no more there now. Right? Your ability to speak is gone. You can't even say what you wanted to say because you're doing the thinking to yourself. Now you did it with your friend. No, it's a little pinch. I'll fit that. Say you marked me wrong. Say. Where did I mark you wrong, young man? Like, say, look, say. Isn't this the answer, say? It's like, no, it's not the answer, and plus you wrote it like this and then. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see, say. Yeah, say yours. Yeah. I thought it was right. Okay. Then you walk out, you go to your friends. Antoine, I born and Twilly. You didn't even tell him, say, but say, you didn't even explain. But that's the essence. Right? You're not taught how to communicate. That's why a lot of people strike. They'll strike because they were talking alone. And then they strike. And then after striking, they give them what they want. And then they strike again. You know, they're just playing with your feelings. You're a puppet. Alright. You're like a chihuahua. All bark, no bite. So you need to learn how to communicate. I know I'm all over the place. The end all be all of this video is this. You need to learn how to communicate, increase vocabulary, be interesting, know some general knowledge, go to certain places. When you talk to certain people and they speak about certain things, you know about certain things, and then they'll see, this guy knows stuff, or stuff like that. And then you'll be invited in certain places. You might meet a rich guy you might meet a rich guy, and you were talking to him, and you're talking to him nicely. You were listening, asking questions, and he's like, man, let's exchange numbers. Then you exchange numbers, and then he's posting on his status that he's in a certain place. Then you might communicate with him there, and then he asks you and invites you to a certain area in life, in a certain area of his life, or a certain area in a certain place, and he says, come this side, this thing is going down. We are doing this and that, and you can say, okay, I'm chasing, I'm coming. Then you go, then you meet other people, then they know you because he knows you, and you leave a mark. And once you leave a mark, now you are invited. In the words of Jesus, you use worldly riches to make friends, and once you make those friends, you are invited in everlasting dwellings. That's it. Because now you're speaking nicely, man. Speaking nicely, saying certain things. Now you know certain things that you didn't know before you met the guy. But if you were yes pass, no pass. Yes pass, no pass. If he came to you like, hi, how are you? I'm good and you. Gone. He's gone. But if you're hi, hey man, I like the shoes. Start a conversation. Compliment him because he's never been complimented. Start a conversation, then you talked and you laughed and he remembers you. Then he meets you the next time. Maybe it was a short conversation, you get a long conversation. Then he knows you once he knows you. It's something I need to practice too, but I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it's something I've realized and analyzed and realized that I need to be great at this thing. Know how to communicate. know how to communicate. There was a time I was speaking to these girls, and then I think, yeah, I was speaking to them, and then I was the only one asking questions. Not the only one. I was only asking questions. I would say a certain statement there and there after they ask a question, but most of the time it was them talking. Like they kept on talking about themselves and what journey they were on. Interesting, and it was amazing, right? And then after that, after talking to them, we had to part ways. They said we didn't get to know why you did. Oh, we're sharing testimonies on getting to know Christ and Jesus, right? They were like, we didn't get to know how you got to Jesus. I was like, yeah, And then the other one was like, yeah, it's because he's a good listener. I was like, man, that's a point. That's a point right there. The boy's improving. I'm improving. I'm listening and stuff like that. Then I just told him, man, I like being mysterious. So I know a lot about them. I know a lot more about them than what they know about me. They might know my name. They might know where I live. But, I know what kind of people they are in a certain way. Their names. I don't know where they live. Know certain things. But other than that, listening, asking questions. You leave a mark. That's it. A lot of bad stuff happening there. You are that light that Jesus speaks about. Light of the world. Hi, man. How are you? Hey, nice this, man. Oh, got it yesterday. Damn. Looks good on you, man. It was made for you. Yeah. And learn English. Machita. Tlaritlo heling diding. Yastoti. E ka re spanela go dindawo ntse e tla re spanela a re le ba wabo a le le majita e tla re spanela ba re fitlha da fit into tsa corporate phela. Now things are international, bro. Now you can connect and follow a person. You can connect with somebody who's in England, and I'm chita tsebe tsotsi mfethu a se tsebe Setswana sa ko Soweto, Zulu sa ko Soweto, Venda sa ko Soweto. Aba starve into ba se ba sekgowa fela. Understand? Do you understand, my guy? So learn English, my guy. Go na le Duolingo. Read books, listen to audio books. Somebody reading and read out loud what they are saying and you read with them. Like learn English, my guy. This is you adapting. It's not, don't be those people, I won't learn English. White man's language. Yeah, this and that. You'll be left behind, my guy. You'll be left behind and we'll be in front with the Lambos, Ferraris, Maseratis, Bugattis, Pininfarina, Batistas, Porsches, all of them, Lamborghinis. You'll be left there striking to keep your language. Bro. You're losing, bro. Adapt. Understand where you at. Most used language on social media is English. You want to learn copywriting, you want to sell to people. In fact, as I said, I'm starting this agency. I'm from Soweto, bro. I get talk Soweto. There's never been an opportunity like this where I can start an agency and cater my skills or cater these things to an audience that is abroad in US. Now in the US, they don't know Zulu. They don't know Afrikaans. They don't know Tswana. Man, they don't even know Soweto. They don't know it. They know English. If I don't know English, I'm not saying you must be an expert, right? A master of pronunciation, you force it like most of these people out there. As long as you can say it in a certain way that people can understand, will understand you. You know how to paint a picture in their minds where they be like, oh, I see where you're going with this. Then you're okay. Because there are a lot of people out there that speak like this. They still get deals. They still put stuff together. They still meet people. They still talk to people. As long as they understand them, they can still put food on the table. Do you understand, my friend? Or you got Mexican people speaking a certain way. Italians, French, Spanish, Arabic people like Khabib. like brother, you, right? It's like get good at it. Get good at English, right? Not perfect. Be enough. Be enough. Enough English. You don't need to be perfect, bro. You're not Shakespeare. As you're not Shakespeare, you're not gonna write a book. If you do write a book, you won't be using world class English either way, cause you wanna, you know, you ain't writing novels, bro. Unless you wanna write novels, then fade it. Write novels in Zulu or whatever that you want. But other than that, man, the world is international now. Borders don't exist anymore. Countries do, maybe they do exist. But other than that, we are in the era, we are in the phase or in the generation where one can easily go on a plane and go to a different country and probably live there for 6 months. If you have the money, that is. Right? Once you have the money, you're a normal South African. You are a human being that lives on earth. So once you scale, once you elevate, you want to be like a Vusi Maguire, Petrus Mutip, Johan Rupert, a Cyril Ramaphosa. Imagine if Cyril, Uncle Cyril, out of respect, Uncle Cyril, Uncle Vusi, Uncle Johan Rupert. I apologize for not being respectful. Uncle Cyril Ramaphosa. Malome Cyril, Afitlagada, United Nations. He can get a translator, it's fine. You know, like Putin, Uncle Putin. Uncle Putin. Malome Putin. He speaks Russian and he has a translator, right? And he's using the Russian language because he's great at that language, and he doesn't want to use the English language because he's gonna be misunderstood and he's gonna say certain things that won't make sense, and they're gonna make fun of him for saying certain things in English, right? So he uses Russia. But you are not Putin. Asna Putin. Aswana Putin. Kwenamchidwa kokasi. Diplomates. In this hopeless place, trying to bring hope somehow, finding hope. And I'm giving you the hope, buddy. Hope is in English. That's it. Hope is in English. Knowing how to communicate. Understand this. There are people out there fighting for land, saying, hey, white people must bring back the land. I'm like, okay, yeah. Fighting can help at some point, but at some point you need to adapt. You need to dance to the music. You gotta know how to dance to the music so you can go get closer to the phone, to the music booth, so you can change the BPM, bits per minute. Change it from a 135 EDM songs that they used to listen to, and we should go 112, 118 with a piano. You can only do that if you start with their music. Know where you are. Okay, I'm in this place. What dominates? What should I learn? Adapting, bro. Okay, I'm in this place. Where can I get? What should I learn? Okay, I can start this thing. What does it require me? Oh, I need to learn English. Let me learn English. You know, I'm grateful for my mom who put me in I wouldn't call it a private school because it was an NGO, non-profit organization. So it was like a charity school. It was mostly filled with black kids who wanted a way out. You know, I'm thankful for my primary school. They made it possible for a black kid to be in a setting that seemed private. It was private, but, you know, as I said, 99 kids. It wasn't like a public school like most of y'all who come from a public school where your home language is not English. So I always was in a school that had a home language where English was the home language. And then Afrikaans came, and I didn't do Tswana and whatever. So I'm grateful for that. And some will say, yeah, you see, you have an advantage. Yeah, my guy. We still listen. Me and you still listen to the same hip hop. And it's not like you didn't do English. You did first additional language. So don't come with excuses. But if you want to use that excuse, it's fine, buddy. Still, learn English. Learn English. You have no choice. You're going to stick with the corner. The corner guy doesn't know English. In fact, I'll say this. Most people in America, let me just say in America, but instead in America, they were analyzing, doing research in prisons, and they found out that the average inmate, the average convict cannot read past the 3rd grade level of reading. And then they did a study again to see if this is what happens. And they did say that vocabulary does play a part in how one perceives the world. And if one perceives the world in a certain way, which is limited based off his vocabulary, most of the time he finds himself in certain situations where he's in jail, in wrong predicaments, wrong spaces. So you have no choice, my guy. Keep your Zulu, I'm not saying leave it or whatever, but learn this thing. Learn how to speak it. I don't care, man. Just learn. Learn how to speak it. You listen to rap, I'd advise against it, you know. They can't sing, they can't rap anything else apart from girls, sexual intercourse, and other things. You know, they abana material. So you listen to rap. That can help maybe, but nice rap that doesn't have vulgar and all that. So I listen to Christian hip hop because I'm Christian. So they mostly speak about God and whatever, but most of the time they use big words, right? So that can help you. Keep it on the back burner. But Sfilikwani won't help you, but Chakatola won't help you. Sfilikwani won't help you. Shia Shezi won't help you at all, buddy. Yeah, you die for the hood. Man, listen. If you're that guy, this video is not for you. Velo vai, go listen to your Shandis that side. I listen to these things also used to. As I said, I'm Christian. That's why I know them. Boma 7 and all of that. GP Gangster and all of that. But I realized that, man, these people do not profit me anything. I don't get anything from this. In fact, they're making me dumber. That's just me being honest. Because what do they all speak about? The hood. And we're trying to live the hood. You understand? So learn how to communicate. Learn how to speak English. Be interesting. And yeah, man. The rest will come, bro. Figure it as we go. That's it. Mind and mouth connection. Know how to articulate your ideas in a certain way that people may receive them. Know how to paint pictures in somebody's mind with your words. Like Picasso on a canvas. Or who's that guy? Beethoven on the piano, if he plays the piano. I don't know. Like Beethoven on the piano. Martin Luther King on a speech. Mayweather in the boxing ring. Do you understand? Paint a picture. Okay, then you become great, my guy. That's it. So that's the update of today. I must increase my communication, know how to communicate better. Filler words and all of that. Those things will come after, man. Will come after. The arms are likes and whatever, they'll come after. It doesn't matter, right? But majority of people, as I said, just be good enough. But majority of people use filler words. So majority of people use filler words. If you still use filler words and you're still lacking other stuff like English, learn the English first. You'll deal with the filler words later. Learn the stuff like English, knowing when to pause and all of that. Then the filler words will deal with them. For the people who are in the communication, whatever, they'll help you with that stuff. That's it. Like, step by step. Because I realized there's nobody in the hood giving advice. Like, I can watch stuff on YouTube. Maybe I watch people like, the person I resonate with is BBC Brendan Carter, right? King Keto. Because he's from the hood too, the hood in America. And stuff like that. So he says certain things, I'm like, okay. And he still uses filler words. I'm like, yeah, that's the guy I must not emulate. not look up to, but in the words of Jesus, the children of the dark are far more wiser than those of the light. Use worldly riches to make friends, and you'll be invited in everlasting joy. So I'm using my worldly riches with my data and everything, so I can gain wisdom from a child from the dark, right? So I'm gaining wisdom from him, and he comes from a similar place, just a different area code, different country. And you can see that a person like that who comes from there can easily make it out. But then there's nobody who is where I'm from, on YouTube, on Instagram, on social media, giving tactics, right? At some point, maybe some person at some point in their life will come back to this video and listen to it and be like, oh, this guy said I must learn how to communicate. Be like, okay. So this is just me sharing my insights. Road to whatever amount that, Myron Golden says, somebody asked me, how much do you want to make? He says, I want to make as much as I can. You know what I mean? So I don't know how at some point when this will end, but this will end when I die. Yeah, but just to leave some, to know that I said once, that you need to learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate. Mind and mouth connection. Be interesting. Learn English. I know you love them cheetahs. You love those guys. I understand. If you like us and you don't want to take this fight, then stay in the hood, bruh. Stay in this hopeless place that breaks people into pieces. My guy, you know it was sad, bruh. It was sad when I saw this other guy. I could see it. Sometimes I downplay it. Or maybe it's because nyaupe is a word really used a lot of times. Like nyao, like nyaupe and whatever. So when I see a guy who smokes nyaupe, I'm like, yeah, I treat it like as if it's weed. But they both bad, but I take it lightly. Until I saw this guy, man. You could see this guy. He was once a certain guy who had life in him. Life and everything. And I saw him yesterday or the day before, and I saw that these things are eating at him, right? But he doesn't care about the long-term consequences, which is something I said in the other thing. Going back to what the healthy game Dr. Alok said, or was it Gabor Mate? I forgot who it was. It's the effects of seeking short-term pleasure, not even worrying about the long-term consequences because of the pain, or because of the pain that you're in, right? And you're looking for a relief, an escape from that pain. And that escape can be drugs, can be sexual intercourse, can be all of these stuff, giving you that short-term pleasure. That's why a lot of people drink. We can all look at somebody who drinks, it's like, the problems now, they only go for that, they don't go away forever. They only go away for that moment. Exactly. But I just want that moment. They just want that moment. I know it's temporary. I know it's gonna mess me up long term, but I just wanna, for a moment in my life, feel alive, feel in control, feel like I don't care. So I look at my guy, I'm like, hey, so much potential. You're wasting it. I'm not saying it to him. I'm not talking to him. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, yo, you're wasting it. You have so much potential. Why are you doing this? And then I just look around. I'm like, I get it. It's the place I'm in. So this hood you're fighting for, which is not yours, which is something constructed by the enemy. Oh, can I call him the enemy? Or bad people, is a place that is made to break the black man, black boy, black person, whether black or white, because there are white hoods out there. Break you apart, make you lose hope in this hopeless place. It doesn't matter where you're from. Cape Flats, Soweto, or any hood that has white people. In this hopeless place where there's no hope. So much pain. So many desires that are not met. So many desires that are not met that you want. And because you don't know Jesus, you don't know God, You seek it. You seek these things in the world, and you don't find them. You find that relief from this one guy who says, ntwana wethu bophelo bo rough. Mara ntwana wena ka shada edi. O tlo feel something. You take it for that 1 second. You feel something. You feel worthy. You feel relief. You feel tranquility, they call it. And then it disappears, then you want more of it, right? So you look at it, I look at my guy, I'm like, so much potential, but I understand, man. I understand. I can't say if I was him, I would do it, but I understand why he did it. I can't look at him, it's like, Musa, you know, that's small-minded, that's prick-like nature, you know. That's not John 8 Jesus behavior, right? When he saw that girl who was brought to the forefront and they wanted to stone her until he said, one without sin shall cast the first stone, neither I will condemn you, but sin no more. So neither I will condemn my guy, but sin no more. No, I can't tell him to stop without any other solution. I can though. He knows it, but what other solution does he have? He doesn't have a matric. He doesn't have any sort of employment. Maybe he gets 370, or maybe even sold his ID. Just lost. A lost soul, waiting to die. Sad though. If only he knew Jesus, then he'd change his life. But you know, Jesus said we are the light of the world, so gotta shine my light. So this is why these videos are here. Maybe some guy's gonna watch them at some point. So learn how to communicate, bro. Learn how to communicate wherever you go. I don't care who it is, who it is with. Learn how to communicate. You meet somebody, the receptionist, the banker, the guy who's helping you. Crack a joke. Sometimes I do it, most of the time, right? I go to a police station. I saw this guy working at the police station. My friend was certifying certain stuff. I wanted to ask him how do I get a gig in the police, right? But I didn't ask him. But the essence of thinking about what to ask and implementing it and just improving from there, learning how to communicate and stuff like that, you'll be remembered, you'll be known, you'll be liked, you'll be trusted, right? Because not a lot of people are like that, have that energy. There's no great leader out there who did not know how to communicate. Even Nelson Mandela himself knew how to communicate. That's why he became the first black president. So learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate. If you want to read a book, I pray you read a book. I don't read books. Not all the time, but whenever I find a book that can help, I read it. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read that book. Just read it. Read the book. Read the Bible. Right? Find a lot of stuff. Find Jesus, man. Repent. You know what I mean? Just repent. A lot of stuff that is happening in the world that is wicked. You know what I mean? The only joy and peace you can find is in Jesus, man. A lot of wicked, evil stuff are happening. It's overwhelming, you know. As I said, I saw my guy who so much potential, and I'm like, yo, man, if only he knew the joy and peace you can get from Jesus, that could help him. So read the Bible. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You are one communication away from living a certain life full of adventure. But if you are just boss, no boss, no cross, huge loss. Buddy, if you're that guy, I'm sorry. You're not gonna make it. You're gonna stay in the hood. Big ups to you, but I'm not that guy. I wanna leave this place.